Most people live their lives thinking that their circumstances define who they are and what they can achieve. They believe that where they were born, how they were raised, or the resources they had or did not have will forever determine their outcomes. But let me tell you the truth that changed my life and the lives of millions. It is not your conditions. It is your decisions that shape your destiny. The moment you fully internalize this, you stop being a victim of your environment and start becoming the creator of your future. Think about it, two people can grow up in the exact same environment, with the same hardships, the same limitations, even the same trauma. Yet one person can rise above it all and build an extraordinary life, while the other remains stuck, repeating the same patterns, blaming the same past. What makes the difference? It is not chance, it is not luck, it is not privilege. It is the decision to take control, to say, this is not how my story ends, and to act on that with absolute certainty. Every breakthrough in life starts with a decision. A decision that you are no longer going to tolerate mediocrity. A decision that you are more than your past. A decision that you are going to raise your standards. That is when your life begins to change. And I am not talking about weak, wishy-washy decisions. I'm talking about those moments when your soul says a no more, and you feel it in every cell of your body. That kind of decision has the power to rewrite your story. The problem is, most people confuse preferences with decisions. They say, I would like to be rich. I would like to be healthy. I would like to be in love. But preferences are not decisions. A real decision is backed by action. It is when you cut off every other possibility and commit fully. That is when the universe responds. That is when momentum builds. That is when life shifts. One of the most impactful decisions you will ever make is to stop blaming the outside world and start looking within. Because when you believe that life is happening to you, you stay powerless. But the moment you believe life is happening for you, you reclaim your power. Even your pain starts to have purpose. Even your failures begin to feel like stepping stones. Why? Because you decided to see it that way. And that decision changes everything. I have seen people with every disadvantage imaginable rise to greatness because they made a decision. I have seen people who had every resource squander their lives because they did not. So do not buy into the lie that you need more time, more money, more support, or better conditions to create a better life. You need one thing, a decision, a real one. When you decide who you are and what you stand for, you start living intentionally. You stop reacting and start leading. You begin to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that align with the power of your conviction. And that is how you shift from surviving to thriving. So if there is one gift I can give you today, it is this. Make that decision. Decide to take ownership. Decide that your past does not equal your future. Decide to raise your standards, demand more of yourself, and show the world who you really are. Because in the end, it is not the events of your life that define you, it is the decisions you make in response to them. And that, my friend, is where all your power lies. When you make the decision to take ownership of your life, everything changes. It sounds simple, even cliché, but the truth behind it is powerful and life-altering. Taking ownership means that you stop waiting for someone to rescue you. Stop blaming others for your circumstances, and start accepting that where you are right now is the result of your own choices. That realization can sting, but it also sets you free. Because if your choices got you here, then new choices can take you somewhere greater. Ownership is not about guilt or shame. It is not about beating yourself up over past mistakes. It is about recognizing that you are in control of how you respond, how you grow, and how you move forward. That power does not lie in your parents, your boss, your spouse, or the economy. It lies in you. And the moment you truly take responsibility for your life, you stop waiting for external change, you become the change. Most people live in a mindset of blame. They blame their past. They blame their parents. They blame society. And while yes, some people are handed harder lives than others, staying in a state of blame only ensures that you remain stuck. Blame is easy. Ownership is hard, but only ownership creates transformation. It is the moment when you say, I cannot change what happened to me, but I can decide what I do with it now. That is when you start to become powerful. Taking ownership also means taking control of your emotions. You stop saying things like, he made me angry or she ruined my day. And instead, you start recognizing that you choose how to react. When you take responsibility for your emotional state, you stop giving people the remote control to your feelings. You become emotionally bulletproof not because life stops challenging you, but because you stop surrendering your peace to external forces. Ownership means you stop outsourcing your future to chance. It is not up to luck, it is up to you. You do not just hope things get better, you make them better. You create a vision, you set a standard, and then you align your actions with that vision. You begin to realize that your habits matter, your mindset matters, your self-talk matters. No! The small things you do every day are either pulling you closer to your best life or pushing you further away. When you own your life, you stop coasting and start creating. Even your failures begin to take on new meaning when you take ownership. Instead of seeing them as proof that you are not good enough, you start seeing them as feedback. You learn, you grow, you adapt. Because when you take responsibility, failure is never final, it is fuel. It teaches you something, it makes you stronger, you do not run from it, you use it. And that is the mindset of someone who is truly in control. This kind of ownership is rare because it requires brutal honesty with yourself. It is not about pretending to have it all together, it is about being real enough to say, I messed up and I can fix it. That level of self-leadership is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. It is not about being perfect, it is about being accountable. And once you step into that mindset, your entire world begins to shift. So if there is one move that will change your entire trajectory, it is this. Own your life, own your time, own your attitude, own your decisions. The moment you do that, you step out of the passenger seat and grab the wheel. And when you are in control, there is no limit to how far you can go. In the end, the most impactful decision you will ever make is the decision to take full ownership of your life. By choosing your future over your past, your vision over your excuses, and your true identity over the stories that have held you back. It is not about waiting for the perfect moment or being fully ready. It is about deciding right now that who you have been is not who you have to remain. You have the power to reimagine, redefine, and rebuild yourself from the inside out. Every belief you change, every action you take, every standard you raise becomes a building block of the life you were born to live. This is not a motivational idea. It is a personal revolution. The moment you say, this is who I am now, and live in alignment with that truth, everything begins to shift. So make the decision. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Decide to lead your life, not just live it. Because once you do, nothing will ever be the same again.